They call me El Coca from how much Coca-Cola I drink.
That sounds like a topic of discussion for Coca.
And crack from the cartels.
Okay, for the viewers, let us define some narconomic vocabs for those who don't know. So, as an example, tell us what's a supply chain, even though it's not narconomics first.
Well, it's the steps to go from raw materials to the finished product for the consumer.
Okay, now that we have an idea well, we set the basis for what a supply chain is, what would a drug cartel supply chain look like?
Well, farmers would make the plants. Cartels buy it off them to make crack. Then they sell it to potential consumers.
Oh, so the cartels are like the manufacturers, okay. How would they transport the crack?
They use aircrafts or submarines to launder products. They could even use other people to smuggle through the border, even if they aren't involved. It's also possible to smuggle them secretly through commercial goods and fruits or other drinks.
Oh, okay. So, why would the farmers sell the coca leaves to the cartels?
Isn't it obvious? For profit, farmers hardly make a living compared to corporate companies, so when the cartel offers a large amount of money, it's nearly impossible to resist.
Oh, nice input. I also think that the farmers, they don't have a choice, but they can only sell to the cartels. This is because the cartels have like a monopsony where the seller can only sell to one buyer, so the farmers can only sell to the cartels. The farmers don't make enough money from other crops, so they can only cultivate coca, which is illegal or illicit. The cartel can lower their prices and force the farmers to sell their coca at a lower price since they're the only buyer.
If that's the case, how might this affect the farmers?
Like emotionally, I think the cartels or like the cartel members, they could coerce them, which means they could threaten to hurt them to make the coca leaves. Like their families would be put at risk as well. It's also worth noting that like the local governments, they can be bribed, so they're not protected in the first place by the government. So the cartel continues to maintain control over the supply chain. So as an example, we could take Colombia as an example. So how does the Colombian government interfere with the cartels to prevent drug trafficking?
That's the neat part. They don't, or at least haven't done a significant amount to disrupt their operations. The government had sent military or soldiers to come and destroy crops themselves, or spray pesticides through airplanes to eradicate the crop. The high demand is what leads the farmer to look for new land to keep farming coca leaves as a way of living. They look for new land since the plot is unsustainable for more plants. It becomes a terrible cycle if you think about it, where the plots are destroyed and farmers continue to look for new land, contributing to environmental damage. This can also be described as the balloon effect, or the cockroach effect. For the balloon, when you squeeze the balloon, the air moves somewhere else. The cockroach scatters if you turn on the lights while they are roaming around. All to say that the root problem is not addressed since the perpetrators relocate somewhere else to continue operations.
Well, that's good insight. I also think that part of the problem is there's no good alternatives for the farmers to make new plants. This is because the coca leaves have a persistent high demand for like the legal market, and there's a higher profit margin because like the crops in comparison, you don't make that much money from like selling bananas, like coffee, cream. Like coca itself is also easier to transport and grows better in like rural or underdeveloped areas. So, and the market for legal crops like fluctuates too much, like based on the season, rather than the more stable and reliable legal drug market. So
Well said, man. Well said. I think that is it for us.
all right, let's go drink Coca-Cola.
Here, I got this for you. Coca-Cola as fuma.